Hi, everyone. Welcome to Beacons of Balance. Here we are. I'm Arlene, my wonderful
I'm
co-host,
Joanne.
Joanne, and we're here today. We're in the new year, 2025. We're moving on in January. And
Wow.
today's episode is exciting, especially for the new year. What do you want to do? You want to get out your big brooms and we're going to sweep. We're going to do
Weep.
clearing. Clearing. Clearing.
Bye-bye.
So it means clearing everything. It means physically clearing, yes, clearing your homes, clearing out your spaces, but clearing yourself.
Yes. Even clearing the way you think.
The first Wednesday of the month, which I always mention, I do a prayer meditation. I start by making our hands like a bowl, putting it underneath your heart space, because that's where our light is. And everything we say, we build up these blocks that block up our energy. You say something rotten about yourself or somebody else says it to you, it blocks it. So we physically, I tell people, take and throw it out and transmute it to love and light. And to clear your vessel, just be aware of it. Clear
Right.
this.
And please, please, please go back and watch our episode on manifestation because we covered some fabulous topics
Yes.
on how to get rid of that old stinking thinking. I
Yes.
call it stinking thinking. You know, sometimes you need a checkup from the neck up.
That's for sure. And there's a great product that I'm using. It's a manifestation kit to physically do the thing. And you could get that on Amazon. There's a link on that episode that tells you where to go to get that.
Right.
So greatly appreciate it. So today we're going to talk about clearing.
Yes. Wow.
It's funny, I say I'm a recovered Catholic, but we used to
We
have
both are.
yeah, here we go. I don't know about you, Joanne, but I remember as a kid, and it would be once a year, a priest would come over to the house.
Oh, yeah.
Actually do this blessing and clearing, and he'd make, do the holy water, the silent, and all that stuff.
Right.
I don't know, you just kind of went with the flow with that, but that's what they were doing. They were actually manifesting, physically clearing the house for the year.
Right.
As
They
symbolic.
blessed everything back in the day. Do you remember blessing the Easter baskets, blessing your throat so you wouldn't choke on a chicken bone?
Saint Basil.
Saint Basil. I mean,
And
when you're a little
do.
kid, I had would he put those candles like this, And I'm like,
do you think you're getting shackled from the old days?
Exactly. I'm like, oh my God, you're 8 years old. You don't know what he's doing up there on the altar.
I know. I always thought I was going to get burnt. Those candles were going to go.
Right. Everybody's lined up and they're kneeling down. They're putting lit candles under your throat. And I'm like,
I know. But they still do, they still do.
They still do that?
Well, I don't know about that one, but they do, and it's not just Catholicism. It's in other churches, because I know I went to a spirituals church and they do blessing of the animals.
Wow. Exactly. That was a drive-through with your pet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They still do that. They do. Yep.
So
there's something to it.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways of clearing and so many things to talk about in clearing. And it's very interesting. And I don't know about you, Joanne, but I think more people than not are hoarders and can't get rid of things.
Good point. Excellent point. Because when you keep storing stuff, just because it's on sale, or you have an emotional attachment because it was in the family forever and ever and ever, guess what? That holds energy. It's like these people that go to all these antique stores, and you're bringing that into your house.
That's a really good point to make, okay?
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about spirit, because when you purchase antiques, and I can tell you a story about this, there's energy that's around it. In spirit, when we leave. I mean, some people, they're in between worlds, between going on or staying here, so they get stuck. So that's what they call ghosts. But I mean, you release them. That's, anyways, that's another thing. But I do believe we come in at different times. We float in, and I think people float back in if they were attached to a house that they liked or whatever. If they had a piece of something that they remember,
right?
They float around it.
Exactly.
So when you do, here we go again. When you do purchase something, although the younger folks aren't buying antique things, I don't know. But if you purchase something, clear it. And what do we mean by clearing, Joanne? What would that be like? What would that actually? So you bring something back from an antique store,
Right?
Yeah, like a lamp.
Exactly.
Throw
Throw it against the wall first. If it doesn't break, it's meant to be. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So what you want to make sure that you do is that there's any energy attached to that object. You want to clear that. And the way I do that is you don't have to hold it. You don't have to touch it. Just say, Creator, all that is. It is commanded. Commanded. You're not demanding. Big difference. You're commanding any energy that is not of love and light to be sent up. I send it to the 7th plane, because that's where Creator, all that is. And I see it going out and being transmuted into love. You just don't put caca up there out in outer space, right, Arlene? It's got to be transmuted.
When you do energy work, we're energy workers, Joanne and I, certified in a lot, modalities. And when, people think I don't want anybody's, I have my own stuff. But when you work on somebody, we release it, but you're releasing it. You're just not, you just imagine, you're just not throwing it out there. So somebody's walking down the street, they get it. you transmute it to love and light. So you're changing the energy around it. Very important.
Very, very important. Arlene, I have to laugh because a lot of times I'll watch some of these manifestors or these clearing people. They'll say, put it in a bubble and just watch it go above the roof of your house.
Yeah, where's it go?
Where's all that negative energy going? Back out to the universe? Come on. It's like,
you want to change it.
Transmute it. Transmute it to love.
Change it. Yes.
Right.
So another thing that people do, and a lot of people that are in New Age, spiritual, whatever, and people have heard about smudging and saging, and you've seen it, it's from the Native Americans. It's the sage, wild sage that's that's harvested. They go out there, no, it's harvested.
Yeah.
It's harvested and dried, and then you burn it. But a lot of people have sensitivity to the smell.
Right.
They start coughing and everything. I'm highly allergic to things. So, folks, here's another item. This is called juniper mist, and it is, oh my God. If you smell these things, they are wonderful. This is a smudge spray. It's lavender. These are 100% pure oils. They harvest all of this and they make them. And then there's Palo Santo, which is very sacred. And there's 3 in this set. It comes with a sprayer. It's going to be linked below. You can get it through Amazon. So you could take it, and you could spray around and say the words like Joanne said and release it. You could spray it around yourself. You could use it in your home, any situation. You can use it. It's very and it's just symbolic of doing that. And, going back again to Catholicism, because of course we went to church and everything, or when they did any ceremony, I would say the guys, the priests, they would use the
frankincense bowl.
The incense thing, and they used for smelling. Not very pleasant.
It's about the time I would pass out in mass.
Yeah. They would have the smoke going,
oh my God.
Swinging it.
I'd bury your head into your mother's coat.
It was a symbology of doing that. And Native Americans, of course, have their abalone shell, and you put the sage in it, and they use the feather, and they're smoking it. And that even goes to sweat lodges and that, what they do. Right. So you're basically clearing yourself.
Right. Now, one good thing, Arlene, a lot of people ask me, how do I clear my house? I feel like there are entities roaming around my house. So what I do, and you don't have to be throwing salt in the corner and making more rich, or doing little dances or, in circles and, hey, how are ya? Hey, how are ya?
People do it.
They still do it.
Yeah.
But all you really need to do is Creator, all that is, it is commanded that a clearing and healing be done on this property now. Please take whatever is not of God's light and take it up and out, transmute it to love, because God's children have work to do here. I always do that before a client comes over. And then I need to touch on this topic about healers and clearing themselves, Arlene, because I work on more healers that come to me sick, sick, sick. Why? Because they forget to put a circle grid of protection around themselves before they work on a sick client. Come on now.
And
so
wait, I'm sorry to interrupt. With that point being said, though, and a lot of times the client you're working on, you don't know where their thought pattern is. They could be in their head lying on your table or being there thinking, oh, Joanne's going to take this away from me, or Arlene's going to take this away from me. It's going on you. No, 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 no.
Right.
We have our own, we have our own caca to work on, so we don't need that. No.
So you always want to put a circle grid of protection. The way I visualize it is an egg, an energetic egg around me, but it's in a grid form so that the light could still come in. But I always call on Archangel Michael to cut any swords, cut with his sword to cut any old negative energy that is flying around that room. And you've got to protect yourself. Now, here is a really important piece that most healers forget to do. When they're finished with a client, okay, we were taught this by amazing masters all over the world. When you're done with your session, I always thank the team of angels that worked with me. I thank Creator, but key word, give the energy back to your client. Say, I give my energy back to Jane Doe, and I give my energy back to me, and I cut the cords between us. You don't want to take that stuff to bed with you, guys. You do this all day. If you're doing 7, 10 clients a day, and then you wonder why you're sick. Hello.
And when
so make sure
when you do work, when we're talking about energy healers, but any work you do, if you're doing something, even any job that you do, it should uplift you. You should feel energized.
Exactly.
If you have stuff where you're drained, something's not right.
Right.
And I know, and I'm not talking about this now with the energy work, but I'm talking about, I remember when before I was open to all of this, when I was just doing regular jobs, and I would go and I'd say, boy, it wasn't really a hard day at work. And I would come home and I was physically exhausted. Like I was like dragging my feet to get in the house.
Right.
And I'm like, why is that? I didn't have anything like a tough day. And then I would have really challenging, tough days, and I would come home and be all energized. And you know what it was? And I realize now, it was the people that I was around.
Exactly.
I was feeling and feeding and getting their energy, and that, as Joanne said, protecting yourself. It's very important with clearing, cleansing, and protecting yourself. And especially, even when you're in situations with family members, say some family members you don't want to be around, or you're in a gathering with people that there's going to be some people that you really aren't fond of and you've had conflict with, you know what to do? Yeah. I do. I bless the situation before I go. And like Joanne said, the egg in it, I put like a bubble of white light in that while I'm there and while we're there, that we all get along cohesively, and it's very nice, and it flows nice and gently, and then we leave, and everybody leaves, and you have a great time.
Exactly.
Try it. It's very powerful, and it works. It does work.
Right. And another good thing, if you know anybody going in for an operation or any kind of work done on them, I'll always call on all their angels from I don't care if it's someone doing the blood work, the secretary, anybody remotely involved in their process of healing at the hospital or wherever, call on their angels to work together in unity for the greatest and best outcome. Okay. So there's a lot that you can do behind
so
the
important.
scenes.
And that goes back to, and there is a famous, I think he's retired now. I don't know if he's still around. Dr. Bernie Siegel.
Oh, yeah.
Cancer oncologist. He was from Connecticut, actually. Yeah. And surgically, when he would see the people he was working on back then, and this is going back many, many years ago, he would see violet light coming in and working through his hands on the patients. I mean, what a gift he gave to his patients. And they would do very well. And he also used to have them, even if they were children or adults, it didn't matter. He would have them draw a picture. Joanne, this goes to your artwork, as far as what they saw and how they visualized it. And the ones that had this attitude of seeing the light going and doing it, they did very well with their outcomes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I worked on many a child that had cancer here, and they could actually see the angels coming through the artwork because those are portals from one dimension to another, especially that 8-foot angel that I have that we carried Arlene to the UN. That's a doorway. That's actually a doorway, and a lot of the little children would see army men marching through it. I mean, oh my God, the stories we could talk about. What happens in a healing session is
so going back to now, we're going to talk about like basic clearing. So, folks, if you're blocked in your life, if you're blocked in any way, you want relationship, you want new jobs, you want whatever, clear out everything first. Clear out the thoughts. Clear out your space you're working in. Get it organized. Get it. There's that old saying, "Cleanliness is next to godliness," and it's very true. Listen, I know people that I've had personal people in my life that have had big issues. And this is a good one to look at also, their cars. If you know people that have a car, I know people that they would go through drive-throughs with the food wrappers and all the
God.
the
That would drive
caca.
me nuts.
All the caca was just, they throw it in the car, and the car is like a big garbage can to them. So they really have like no respect for it.
Right.
I know people that have gotten, they would have cars like that. They would get a brand new car, in less than a week, it was filled up with garbage where the passenger couldn't even sit down.
That's interesting that you brought that up, because I talked to an older client of mine who all he does is rent houses out. He said, the first thing I do, Joanne, I check their car, because if the car is messy, then I know I don't want them in my property. Isn't that interesting?
It's an indication.
Checks the car.
Oh my God. And you just brought up a good point, because I'm going back to when I was on the dating circuit. If I met people, first of all, they were cursing out their ex-wives or people they were in a relationship with, I sat there and I'd go, that's the person's MO. How are they going to break that to be, all of a sudden they're going to be, oh, wonderful. Or how did they treat their family members or their mothers? That's a big indicator.
That's a big one.
It's a big indicator. So just be aware. Just be aware.
Yeah. How many times, I'll clear somebody, I'm doing work on them for an hour, and they get up, they sit up, and before they're out the door, they're complaining about their ex, saying what an SOB he is. I'm like, guys, you just came out of the shower and you put the dirty clothes back on. Hello?
Yeah.
It's like, but it's a choice. Everything is a choice. You know that.
We all have stuff we go through. And I always tell people, remember the sweet memories, because whoever you were with or whatever situation you were with, they weren't all 100%. And what does that say about you that you chose them or were with them, So there had to be sweet memories that you created. Remember those and leave the other ones. Just leave just.
Exactly.
Just let
maybe your time with that person was simply to bring that child or children into this world, because you needed each of your DNA to create this little masterpiece. And then your program or your time was simply done with them. No right or wrong about it. The angels always say, your kind gets hung up on right and wrong, good, bad, when there just is. It just is. Because who labels things good, bad, evil?
That's what this channel's about. That's where I was claimed, beacons of balance, because it's about,
it's about balance.
It's a world of duality, and that's not going away. But to live in the middle, to bring it, because we all have the light and dark in us, and it's
right. We all have a shadow side.
Well, yeah, and it's important that part is important, because how would we see our light if we didn't have the dark? I mean,
that's the yin and the yang, and the thing is, when you recognize your dark side and you heal that, that's when you start shining your light.
Well, going back to this is interesting. We're talking about clearing that, and I don't know about you. This was really I think about back to my childhood, and of course I went to parochial, a Slovak Catholic parochial school. But I'll tell you, every weekend when I was doing my homework, and I don't know, I don't have OCD that I know of. I guess we all have a little bit of parts of everything. I used to have to back then, folks. We had what they were called binders with the three.
Oh yeah,
and you had your loose leaf paper. Now, and you would have all your subject dividers, and then you had a pencil box or a zip box. I had to have everything in order. I had to have an order. I used to have all my pencils sharpened, and I had erasers on.
Those stick-on erasers?
I had to start that, or else I couldn't think clearly. For me, and I think for a lot of people, it's true.
If you just clear out the clutter in your house, the energy flow will be so freaking amazing.
You could feel it. It's powerful.
Oh my gosh. When you walk into someone's house and they have newspapers piled up to the ceiling, or you can't even get to the bathroom because you have to carve a pathway through their living room of garbage. My God. Not only does that affect your health, but it affects so many other things.
But I think the majority of the population live that way.
Oh my God.
It goes back to old programming. Now, we all have. I have my stuff. Do I get I get clutter? I get my house is lived in. I don't have a there's a lot of people that have to have nothing on any, you know what I mean? Right. I like to have it cozy and lived in, but it may pile up with some, but then I go through and I get rid of it.
Exactly.
But I do have issues, and I don't know, this must go back to, I don't know. I can't get rid of bags.
Bags?
Bags. I'm a bag lady.
Bag lady? Oh my
God, Franco's I can't get rid of bags, especially shopping bags, the cardboard, not cardboard ones, whatever, paper ones, nice handles.
Yeah.
And because I always save it, because I figure my kids come over, if I give them food, or anybody comes over, because I'm always giving stuff, here's a bag. And I'll find myself, sometimes I pull the bag and I go, well, this is a nice bag. I don't know if I really want to get rid of it. I'm sick.
So what happened to you in a past life, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Probably a bag lady or something.
Yeah. So what I did finally, because my husband has said, oh my God, you and your bags. So what I did is I went through the whole house. I had bags all over. Well, I shopped a lot, but now I don't do that anymore, really. So I'm not collecting bags. And I piled them in a big one. And my husband pretty soon will be retiring, and I want to go volunteer at food bank. So I'm going to bring those bags with me, and they could be used for people to take food.
Well, there you go.
So I'm like,
everything could be recycled, as they say.
I just went through, because of course I was big on doing keto and paleo, because my husband's diabetes and that. So 7 years ago when we started, I mean, and I kept buying cookbooks, beautiful cookbooks, thick ones. Right. And I was looking at my corner hutch the other day, and I'd been getting up 2:00 in the morning. So I was up till 2 to 4, and I'm sitting downstairs, and I pulled out all the cookbooks, and I had them piled up. And then I called my local library, and I asked them, do you take, I just didn't want to throw them out. What do you do with them?
Yeah.
So I called up, I said, do you take books? And they said, not but they have you could check with your library. There's they have affiliate bookstore with them, kind of. And that bookstore, they stay open certain hours, but they sell those books for like $2.50. Really nice. I mean, these books were like,
it's a fundraiser for the library,
and they use that money to keep the local library open on a Sunday. It pays for that. Isn't that nice?
But Goodwill, I mean, there's so many places that are open now that'll take your used things.
So get rid of stuff, or I know I don't know if everybody has it. Well, it's on Facebook Marketplace. You could sell things.
Oh, Marketplace.
I've sold, you can sell a lot of things,
I've never sold anything on there. I don't know what it is.
I did when I moved. I sold a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think as I get older now, I want clean, like more Buddhist things, empty rooms, hardwood floors. I got rid of all my carpeting.
Ugh. It's easier to keep clean.
Hardwood is so much easier than that carpet. Oh Lord.
Well, wall-to-wall carpet, you can never get everything out.
Especially when you have forced heat in the house. Oh my God, forget it. And plus, I'm allergic to everything. I'm a true sensitive.
Me too.
I'd always be.
You know, and I know a lot of the Asian culture and that, they take their shoes off when they come in the house, which is great.
Right.
And I never understood, Japanese, because I remember they have like nothing. They're very pristine. They have like their long, straight coffee table with an orchid on it. And I thought, to me, it seemed back then, cold. But now I look at it and I think, oh my God, how great. They don't have to put any energy as far as cleaning of that. They just,
there's no clutter around you to trip on, to wonder, do I need this? Can somebody else use it?
With the clearing and cleaning, we'll call it clearing, it makes the flow. You flow. I mean, just think about it, folks, for anything. If you're blocked, you're stopped. It stops you.
Exactly. So there's enough. I don't know if we have, how are we doing on time? Because I could go through a clearing process on food too.
Little bit.
Blessing. Yeah. Are we good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you want to know how to bless your food, this raises the frequency of the food you're eating. You can close your eyes and you can literally bring in a deep breath and store it on your heart, and then exhale anything negative that you may be holding on to. And then bringing another deep breath, hold it on your heart and breathe out. Bring in that third breath, hold it on your heart and release anything negative. And then when you're ready, after you have the 3 breaths stored on your heart, you simply push the energy across your chest, see it going down your right arm, and just visualizing it going into the food you're blessing. And just whatever words don't get hung up. People get so hung up on wording, Arlene. It drives me nuts. Just say, create.
It's interesting you're saying this, and I think this goes back to ancient times where everyone says, there's the blessing of the food. This is me personally, but I think it makes sense. Don't forget, we were walking around the deserts, okay? Old Saul picked up, he found some snake or rabbit, and they ate it, and then all of a sudden Saul keeled over and died. So they're like, okay, well, we better not eat that stuff anymore. So I believe when they came out with the blessing of the food and that, it was, as you're talking about, changing the energy. You're saying, and this is what I'm conscious of when I do it, is take out whatever doesn't serve me or what could harm me and just have everything that's going in the nutrient. I do this with my supplements and my pills that I take.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're taking. Even when I was shot with the vaccine, I did that too. I don't know what it is. Just have what is going to be beneficial to me and let the rest of it, I send it out and transmute it. Again, transmute that.
You know what was interesting? We would do this in classes all the time when I taught classes. I'd always have everybody bring 2 bottles of water. We would bless one bottle and leave the other bottle alone. And then after a couple hours, I'd say, now pick up the water you blessed and taste it. And it was always sweeter, smoother, silkier. And I'd say, now taste the water unblessed. And they'd all make the same face at the same time. It tasted like very hard minerals. So it's my own personal belief. Maybe, just maybe, remember when Jesus was at that wedding of Cana and he turned the water to wine?
Man, I want to do that. I want to do that.
Imagine what his energy was like at the time. He probably made that water so sweet that people thought it was wine.
Yep. And that goes back.
He said, "In greater things you will do than I."
Yes, exactly. So
here we are. Look what we're doing.
Beings to manifest. In our last episode, Manifestation, you brought up Dr. Emoto. And people, if you don't know him, look him up. It's EMA. Is it EMA?
EMO.
Emoto.
EMO.
Anyways, look it up and you'll see actually a video. You'll see things where they show just by saying the word, the crystal from the water or whatever, it'll get all diffused. If you say hate, all nasty words to it, it comes apart. But then when you say I love you and you're beautiful and gorgeous, it all comes together into
it was sacred geometry in the frozen water.
Yeah.
In the ice crystals.
And that's what we are. Like you said, we're 85, 90% water.
Right.
So that's so important. So anyways, so folks, just, it's the new year. It's a new fresh start. We have new things we want to manifest in our life. There's another thing that I've done it with groups, and I know you do it, Joanne, too. And people do this for the new year. They'll write down things that they want to get rid of, transmute in their life. They actually put it on a piece of paper. You could burn it. It's a thing that you could see and do. You could put things that you want to manifest and bring up in your life. I used to do that on retreats. I would have a bag. There'd be 3 bags for the weekend, and we have little pieces of paper. And at the end, we'd stand in a circle, and I'd burn it. And it was funny. The things that you wanted to get rid of, they would burn differently. It's like we want to hold on to those things. It's like we can't release them for some reason. Very interesting observation. And everybody in the circle, they would look and they'd say, "Oh my God, look at that."
Yeah.
So it's very powerful. So, yeah, it's very good to do the clearing. Clear your house out, clear your car out, clear out the garage, get rid of stuff, sell it, start anew, start fresh. It's really, it really feels good. And you could purchase this little kit. It has some different sages in here, so you don't have to burn it. They smell nice. There's lavender one with sage, and you could use those. I got it from Amazon. It's going to be linked below where you could purchase, and just hit that link. What else? Please subscribe to us. That's linked
Leave
below.
comments. We love to hear your comments.
Let us know what you think about this. Tell us about other episodes you'd like to hear about. We have some upcoming, really some fun things that are going to be coming up in the near future. So,
and share. That's what this is for.
It doesn't cost you anything.
This is how we could grow this channel
from our heart. Right. We want this world, each of us, to be better and to lift each other up. Right. Do it for the highest good of all concerned, for each and every one of us. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. Yeah. You may not think so, but it does. And we have to do this for our future generations that are coming. Right. Have to stay positive.
And I always say, if you've been blessed in any way, and Arlene and I have been blessed in more ways than we could even list here, always make sure you give back. Give back, give back. Don't hoard it.
Don't hoard it. Don't be bitter. Right. Soften up, soften your heart. Go from here, point to our head space. Go from your head, drop into your heart space. Always come from love. That's what we want. We want to matter. You matter. We're here for you guys. Right. We're here for you. That's what it's all about. So,
and if there's any subject matters that you would like us to touch on, write to us. Our emails are down there, or put it in any of the chat. Because we're here to serve you. This isn't about us.
We want to grow this. We want to grow the channel. We're going to be expanding to other things, other creative ventures that we're thinking about, but we need you folks to do it for, So as I always say, we don't want to grow out this way. We want to grow this way for all of us.
And there's so many interesting topics, right? My gosh.
Yeah. We'll be hitting on a lot.
It's mind-boggling what we can cover here.
Yep. So from our hearts to yours, always love and light, and be the beautiful beacons of light that you are, and shine it out there, because we all desperately need it. And happy New Year again. So
happy New Year.
Our new beginning.
Oh my gosh.
Do the clearing, clean out, go to the links below and you'll see it. Joanne has her wonderful artwork there, her books, just help us grow. That's what we're asking for. Subscribe, share. First of the month, I do a prayer meditation for all of us in the world. So, and every Wednesday we're here.
Right.
Tune in, folks. Tune in.
Oh, it's exciting.
Never know.
I'm excited about this year, aren't you, Arlene?
Yeah. It'll be good.
2025. Wow.
All new beginnings. All right. Love you till next week. Till next time.
Peace. Take care, everybody. We love you.
Love you,
Arlene.
Yeah, bye-bye.